Very good afternoon. After a very sweet lunch and sweet end of this particular conference, what is held in the Nanoscience and Technology. So, respected dignitaries on the dais, student friends, and Professor G.D. Yadav sir, today I am very happy to be here to introduce such a person, very good human being and a very good scientist who belongs to Kolhapur area. Those who are the students from this for this particular conference. For that, I am saying that the person who didn't need any type of introduction, and this such a great person is here, and we are very fortunate to have to listen to Professor G.D. Yadav sir. So I am here to introduce sir. The sir's name, you know that he is a Padma Shri awardee, Honorable Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav. He is a Bhatnagar Fellow CSIR, National Science Chair, ANRF GOI, Emeritus Professor of Eminence, former Vice Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. His research thrust areas are green chemistry, engineering and technology, catalysis, science and engineering, chemical reaction engineering, multiple reactors and reactions. Along with that, nanomaterials and nanocatalysis, biochemical engineering. Besides that, he is a very good biotechnologist too, and energy engineering with sustainable processes. He is also a pioneer worker in the area of carbon dioxide valorization into chemicals, fuel materials, membrane synthesis and their application, as well as the recent technology which is called as hydrogen economy. His research outcome, he has published more than 570 publications with 137 patents and mentored around 116 PhD students. Total number of citations more than 20,000, H-index 72, trade index 379, and he has achieved the number of prestigious awards. I will list very few here. The prestigious award including Bharat Ratna APJ Abdul Kalam Award for Science and Technology in the year of 2022, the Shastra CNR Award in 2024, and Advantage India Chemical Conclave in 2024. Along with that, he is having the number of achievements, the B.S. Sheshadri Memorial Lecture Award by the Electrochemical Society of India in 2024, elected as a Fellow National Academy of Sciences, India FLAC in 2023, CNR Rao Prize Lecture in Advanced Material by MRSI 2023, Distinguished Alumnus Lecture Award, School of Chemistry, University of Hyderabad 2022, CNR Rao National Prize of Chemical Society CRSI in 2020, MRSI ISC Material Science Annual Prize for 2020, admitted as Fellow of Royal Society of Chemistry FRCS London in 2016, elected as a Fellow of Indian Academy of Sciences Bangalore in 2014, Young Career Award DST in 2013, Chemical Research Society India Bronze Medal Award in 2013, CSIR Raman Fellowship 2012, Material Research Society of India 2020-2012, and Scientist of the Year NCL Research Foundation in January 2009. So this is a very short and sweet biodata I read, but in short I can say that, sir, the definition of sir from my mind is that he is the person what is called as Jala Hath Laवतील तिथं त्याचं सोनं. I may say him as a Parisparsha, and I am very happy that sir is with me. And we got the opportunity, I got the opportunity to sit in the chair behind the sir, near to sir, and you got the opportunity that the sir is spending 1.5 hour for you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. At the very outset, let me congratulate my good old friend Professor P.S. Patil. So whatever I wanted to say in these 3 words, I'll say scholar, leader and innovator. But I have a criticism also of him. Normally when you felicitate somebody, people talk good things, but I'm going to talk bad things. You want to know what is that bad thing? He could have been a topmost leader had he chosen to go to some other place, but he wanted to remain in Kolhapur. That is a great loss to this nation. He could have been a leader in some other university. Most of the time people do that. They don't leave their native place or Kolhapur and like it is Ravina. Then we are tempted to stay near our home. That is what most of the people do, and they don't accept challenges. He could have been a star. I know he could have been fellow of some academies and things like that, but he chose to be here. But at the same time, Shivaji University is very fortunate to have him. He has provided leadership. The nanotechnology is his baby. So I'm very happy to be here, Professor Patil, to honor you. And also at the same time, I want to tell you something. The PAIR grant which Shivaji University got it because of his efforts. Just give them a clap. I know PAIR is a very difficult thing. Indian Institute of Science is going to collaborate with you. Rather, it is the topmost science institute in the country. So, Professor Patil, you should be proud of yourself. And of course, you are a student, because professor is never made by himself. The students make the professor. So on this Teachers' Day, 5th, many students, people say, "Sir, happy Teachers' Day." So I sent a message. Yes, but this is also Student Day because they made us. The students teach more to the professor than the professor teaches the student. Perhaps the professor may teach something from the books, but the student teaches beyond the books. That is the best part of teaching. So anyway, so hearty congratulations. Okay, so here is a slide. Sustainable Development, SDG, 17 goals. I'm sure all of you know this. Now what is happening in today's world, when you have any rating agency coming to you, they want to know which SDG you have applied. Is it 1, 2, 9, 17, what it is? So you have to remember that if you apply for any rating agency, you must connect with the SDG. So in that, I have deliberately bracketed these two, 1 and 2, poverty and hunger. Our country is still considered as developing nation. Although our economy is number 4, still we are developing. God, let them call developing, doesn't matter to us. Poverty. And we are supposed to remove poverty by 2030. So I am going to give you some advice to the farming community because Kolhapur is farmers area, wrestlers area. Perhaps you don't believe that I used to wrestle. I have done wrestling in Khasbagh Maidan. When I was a student, Yeah, I'm proud of that. Okay, so health and well-being, everybody wants to be healthy. Yeah, and you should be, why not? Education, very important. Herbert Spencer had said, just education is not important, action is important. You may be educated, but you are not doing any action. What is the use of that education? Many times you are a Vice Chancellor, Professor Sharma. You are afraid of taking decisions. You know why you are afraid? Because you believe, your boss may fire me. He may not like what I do. If you are afraid of your decisions, you can never take a decision. In administration, this is the most important portion. You will never take a decision because you are afraid of the action. So long as the decision is not going to benefit you, so I tell this, so long as I am not corrupt, I am not immoral, I am not unethical, I am not unprofessional, I don't have to worry for anybody. I sleep very nicely, get up in the morning, do my exercises, do whatever I want to do. Because I know my conscience will not allow me to do something, right? So education is that. So you have been educating students, and one of your students gave a brilliant lecture sometime back, Sautamali, right? Where is he? He's gone? He's outside. Call him inside. I'm talking about him and he's not there. Then Gender equality, very important. In countries like India, you know, traditionally India is biased toward male heirs. Females are discriminated in our country. So I've been telling the government, make women's education free till PhD. It does not mean all women will be PhD, but those who are smart, they will have an avenue to go to the next level. They can go to college, do a bachelor's degree, master's and PhD, but it is of course based on their quality, their qualifications. But it should be free. And there is advantage I tell you. What is the advantage? The girl's marriageable age will increase. Educated mothers don't like more than 2 kids, sometimes no kids. So we are still lacking. Perhaps, you know, why do they do that? That means population will be automatically controlled. And within 2 generations, India can be a great country. It is irrespective of race, religion, caste, whatever. Then water and sanitation. Water is the most expensive commodity now. अरे सावता क्या है? फक्त नाव सावता मागे ठेवले. So this water and sanitation. Water, there will be war on water. And I'm going to talk something how water is important for us. Then energy system. We are talking about energy transition. Right? We are talking about energy transition. Work and economic growth. Economy must grow. Our job is to see that economy grows. Industry and infrastructure. Unless there is industry, innovation and infrastructure, India cannot be Vikasit in 2047. That is our aim. I wrote several articles. I shared some of it with you. I shared with the Prime Minister's office, with the Education Minister and everybody. I said, this is what India should do. I printed in the university news. It goes to all some 1500 vice chancellors. I printed them. Inequalities. We have a lot of inequalities. Deshmukh is here. We have a lot of inequalities. Then we want smart cities, sustainable cities. Can we make our cities smart, sustainable? Consumption and production, responsible consumption, and adequate production. And these are all to be achieved by 2030. And we know climate change is killing everybody. So I have some slides to show you on climate change, water ecosystem and land ecosystems, and the last 2 things, institutional setting and partnership. You must have partnership. So you have partnership with foreign universities, Taiwanis were here and all. That is important for research and innovation. Yeah. So Viksit Bharat is what? 1.67 billion people, 167 crore people will be there in 2047. Almost 70% of that will be below the age of 40. So what is going to happen in 2047? Many people will be octogenarian, nonagenarian, centurion. Many people would have crossed 100 years. And we want to be $30 trillion economy. And we are going to do it no matter what Donald Trump does. And I wrote an article on Trump tariffs and the opportunities for all. I wrote an article on that. 24% cumulative manufacturing growth. Smart manufacturing. Without manufacturing, India has no scope. So also I wrote an article on, because this craze for computer science and engineering, everybody wants, and the parents are to be blamed. The parents, our Indian parents are too nosy. They don't want the kids to grow independently. The neighbor's kid went to IIT, you are here studying somewhere, Shivaji University. That means you are useless. Parents are responsible for all this nonsense. And then 70% service sector. That should be the growth. And when I say that if there is an industry, there will be primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, ultimately newspaper wala, pan patti wala, chai wala will be there on the football. There will be jobs created, right? If there is no manufacturing, none of this will be there. And most important part, No virgin material. In 2047, we will not have any virgin material. We will not have metals, we will not have minerals, everything has to be reused. Everything has to be reused. That means our technology should be based on reused materials. Remember, our problem is that we say waste is useless, right? We have to give value to waste. Tomorrow's world, the Bhangarwala will have the best waste. The scrap dealer will be richest person because scrap will have a value because virgin material is not there. And last, this is what important. Look at this farmers near Delhi. They burn agri-waste, and some of our farmers in Kolhapur area also do the same thing. Their idea is what? You burn the agri-waste so the pest will be killed. Maybe that whatever carbon is there, that will be fertilizer, that is their idea. And how much we burn? 100 million metric tons. So in Delhi, the so-called air quality index, AQR, is not less than 300. That is very bad for our health. People suffer from all sorts of diseases. Okay? So, next. So look at the economic growth. This is World Bank Economic Outlook. India is topmost, 6.2, 6.3. Very good growth. We should maintain that higher than that, right? Look at others. World average about 2.8. China is next to us, 4. And we have become the 4th largest economy. US, China, Germany, and we will surpass Germany in 2027. I can assure you that. So that can happen only if all of us contribute to the economy. Whatever we are doing. Go to the next. And see that. At the same time, we create enormous quantity of waste. See the waste. Millions of tons per year. East Asian countries, in South Asia, Europe, North America, Latin America, Middle East. See that how much waste is generated. And in 2050 itself it will be much higher. In fact, it is believed that we will be generating almost 1.16 kilo per capita per annum waste. That will be the waste generated by every individual. Go to the next. And look at this food waste. I deliberately chose this subject. I had chosen something else. Then I told Himra, change it. I want to talk about something which is of great importance to this region. So look at these countries. Food waste kg per capita per year. Just go to the next. India is somewhere there. India and China. And we are the most populous two countries. Correct? Almost 40% of the population lives in these two countries. So we have to be responsible. Go to the next. Mumbai generates something like 9,000 tons a day, out of which 50% is food waste. 50% is food waste. Why is the food wasted? I'm telling you why. The reason is that whenever something is free or you are too rich, you don't want to use the stale food, although you are refrigerators, you say, oh, it is yesterday's food, I don't want to eat. The kids don't want to eat, they will eat burger and pizza and whatnot. But they won't eat their mother's food cooked in their own kitchens. So this is the problem with 50%. And look at this. Global food waste. China next to that, India next to United States. United States almost 3 to 4 kilo per day food is wasted per person. It's a lot of food. Okay? So, and the amount which is consumed is only 60%. 40% food is wasted. Go to the next. So this is a very important slide. I have updated in September 11 here, 2 days ago. You see that just before the pandemic began in January 2020, the CO2 concentration was 410 parts per million, ppm. And you know that during the entire year 2020, we were sitting at home, glued to the TV, not doing anything. I did not leave my home for 2 years, believe me. Only once I went somewhere. Everything was closed. Still in 2021, 2 ppm, 2022 ppm was added. January 21, it became 412 ppm. That means carbon was being burned somewhere. So the world's refinery capacity, which is the yardstick of economic growth, that was that time 97.4 million barrels a day. During pandemic, it came down to 85 million barrels a day because energy was required. Refineries were running. And you see that is 424 ppm. When was the economy restored? That was in June 2022, 418 ppm. That means economic activities were restored. So CO2 concentration is also talking about economic growth. Sadly though. Go to the next. And what is also happening? That the Paris Agreement or Accord in 2015 said 195 nations were there. United States did not sign that agreement. That said we will limit the temperature of the globe to 2 degrees Celsius, preferably 1.5 degrees Celsius at the end of this century. That is the year 2100. Alas, what has happened? There was a prediction on this May 18th, World Meteorological Organization. It says we are going to breach that in 2027. That means there is a carbon quota. You have a budget, right? You have a budget for family budget, so many rupees you want to spend. So we said we will have a carbon budget for the entire world. We are already exhausted then, almost exhausted. So anything which we produce, so what is going to happen to our farming, to water space? You have to have new kinds of seeds, cereals, everything different. Biology, you have to be there. So what are you going to do? This is because when the temperature rises, water stress will increase. Then the cycle of the food crop will change. Everything will change. So it is disastrous. And I'll tell you what is disastrous. Wherever you are staying, for example, you are staying in Kolhapur, what is the average temperature in a year? And let us assume 25, 26 or 30. What is the average temperature here? 20? You should have this number now. You are living in Kolhapur. I am not living in Kolhapur. Argument says, let us say 30 degrees, right? If that average temperature becomes 33 degrees, many biological species will die. That is a fact. Many will die. So we have to be alarmed about it. Go to the next. So what is the reason? The reason is because our economy is based on carbon. Carbon is the biggest culprit. 1750, the CO2 concentration was 280 ppm. Over the years we have added and see now what is happening. And why? So we have fossil carbon in the form of coal, petroleum, natural gas, that is fossil. And you have the biological carbon, renewable. Both the carbons can be subjected to transformation, chemical transformation. So we can do nanocatalysis and biocatalysis and whatever on the right hand side as well as the left hand side. Yes, to convert, these are conversion processes. But the sad part is, no matter which carbon you use, if you use it as a fuel, its fate is carbon dioxide. So that is what so we wrote this article in 2020 during that COVID time to work on things. So we wrote this. In fact, I wanted to publish it in Nature. I had sent it to Nature. Those guys said, oh, these Indian authors are exaggerating things. And this became so popular now, almost 17,000 downloads are there for this article. Everybody is citing it, which I predicted that time. What is going to happen? Go to the next. Yeah. So, yeah, go to the next. So you see that? Now it is working? Thank you. Thank you. So let us look at this. China is the biggest, polluter, emitter of carbon dioxide, 11.256 billion tons, gigatons. India, number 4, 2.622 gigatons. And we want to make it zero in 2070. OECD's countries, the so-called net zero to be achieved by 2050. China says 2060. So in that entire thing, I'll show some other slide also, very important slide. So we have to make this zero. That does not mean carbon dioxide will be zero. Whatever carbon dioxide comes out, because we require carbon dioxide for our life, right? We take air and then carbon dioxide comes out. That net should be zero. Then whatever is generated must be sequestered or converted into something else. So look at this. When you have oil refinery, that is the carbon which goes, that is so-called greenhouse gas, 37.41 gigatons, billion tons. And you go here, this is carbon neutral. So when people talk about bio-based processes, that means the biomass which you use, that will take the carbon dioxide, convert it into photosynthesis and convert it into trees and whatnot. That is what we are trying to do, biotechnology, bio-based things. So what is it? But net zero is not the solution. I've been telling, I must have several lectures on YouTube and what. I've been advocating that. I'm telling our government also, do not talk about net zero. Net zero is not the solution. Net negative is the solution. We have to take carbon dioxide out of the air and convert that into something, chemicals, materials, whatever. We should do that. That is the only solution. Otherwise, already we have crossed the limit, right? So this slide will tell you that in 2020 we emitted 35 gigatons, 35 billion tons. And to become net zero, this has to be brought down less than 10 gigatons per annum, 10 billion tons. We should not be allowing by any process more than 10 gigatons, world as a whole. Then only the net zero will be achieved. Then only life will be comfortable. Otherwise, we will be facing music. So look at this CO2 emissions every year. 2024, 37.41. That is only from proceed. Total is 41 something, okay? Because other carbon is up, for example, fermentation and all. So we have to take carbon out of our fuel mix. So in future, we should not be having petrol pumps. If you are thinking of having a petrol pump, abandon that idea. Instead, we should be using renewable energy. Solar, wind, hydrogen, geothermal, hydro, dams and whatnot. That is what we require. So, this is what I've been telling. We require material neutrality, carbon neutrality. So, material recycling and zero waste society. So, last time also I said, if I'm not mistaken, I said, can you make Shivaji University campus zero waste? Everybody has to participate. Not only Professor Patil says, I is zero waste. He might come to the stage and say, we are zero waste. No, your students must participate in it. Everybody has to do that. So what I am trying to tell you, any waste which is solid, liquid or gas is not to be treated as a waste but as a resource, and we convert that into whether catalytic process or whatever, physical, chemical, whatever, into something else. That is a systems engineering approach. So now another problem, in the so-called renewable energy, we use solar energy, we use wind energy, right? We started it in the year 2000, this activity. They have a life of only 25 years above. So right now, 50 million tons of these solar panels and wind turbines, they are lying somewhere to be used. And I mentioned to you that we have to recover from that. There are magnets there, praseodymium and neodymium and whatnot. Then your rare earths, we have metal, we have glass, everything has to be recycled. So you see that is chemical engineering. So when sometimes chemical engineering students, they drop down their face, say, oh, I did not get into CSE, right? I said, why are you sad? Actually, the parents said, Ari, you are useless. You are not getting into computer science. It's a wrong attitude. I will blame our parents for having. Does it mean that none of you are computer scientists here, right? Am I right? Yes. Or is there any computer scientists here? Material scientist? No. Everybody knows that. We are living in a materialistic world. But no, they think you guys have no future, but you have brighter future than them. Correct? So you have to respect that. If we do not do, so plastic, batteries, construction and debris, everything has to be reused. So I chair this committee of DST on waste management. I've been doing it for last 11 years. So many projects I must have given to anybody. It is not the best of the institutes get. Anybody, colleges have given money. You know what I say? I will not give money to you for buying GC, HPLC, all those fancy equipment. I will give you money for pilot plant. Even if you ask me 20 crore, I will give you. But pilot plant. Prove your technology. Okay? So otherwise, see batteries. We are talking about EVs, right? Electric vehicles. If that electricity is produced by using coal-powered power plant, it is EV, it is CV, not EV. Unless that electricity is produced by renewable energy, it is not EV. Okay? So, plastic, construction debris, wind turbines, solar panels, so many things are there. If we don't do that in the linear economy, whatever our things, actually our grand old mothers, I know what my mother used to do. She will never throw anything out. She will take the old clothes and wakal matab godri. She will make out of that. She used to say, Arey, why are you throwing it? So my mother taught me a very good lesson. After my PhD, I thought I will impress my mother. I took the thick thesis. Of course, she was totally angudachar. She had not studied anything. I taught her how to write. I took it home. I said, I have a thesis. What is thesis? Prabandha. I told her this. You know what? She just flipped through. She doesn't know English. She doesn't know Marathi also. So what she just went through. She said, you are a very expensive son. This is a remark. So I said, I thought she will appreciate me. On the contrary, she criticized me. She said, why have you not printed on the back side? You would have reduced the cost by half. Imagine, that is called native intelligence. That is what, so in our home now, we had aluminum vessels. The village is what we have. We have chula and aluminum vessels. My mother was the best heat transfer engineer. You know what? She said, I will make my own chula. We will have 3 different things. She will test it here and there and make. So with small quantity of wood, all 3 vessels will be heated. And then you know what she will do? This aluminum vessel will have holes at the bottom because carbon colors, right? It's all carbonious material. So there will be holes. See what she would do? She would put jaggery in that, heat it and carbonize and make seal proof. And now later on we realize how to make seal proof carbonized. No. My mother was a very intelligent woman. And you know what? She knew everything, all bhajan, kirtan, everything. So she said, you are doing some good thing now. Is there a medicine? Have you found out some medicine? I will remain ajramar. I will not die. See, look at her expectation from her son. She said, you are doing science now, can you find out something? Of course, he died at a mature age, but why I am trying to tell you that common sense is lacking. We lack common sense. The villagers may be smarter than us. We might think, I am PhD, double PhD, I got so many students. It has no meaning if you don't have common sense. So, common sense is most uncommon. I like the clapping, you know why? Others cannot sleep, otherwise they will. So my job is not only to entertain you, I have to ensure that nobody sleeps. Look, this is what is called circular economy. So we have a boundary, for example, there is inlet and outlet, everything else is recycled. No waste goes out. That is the systems engineering approach. And there is now systems biology, systems chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, everywhere the systems approach. Okay? And Nobel laureates are also talking about systems approach. So look at this. This is all waste, carbon dioxide, biomass, plastic, municipal solid waste. Nothing is to be treated as waste. We have to create value out of it. Everything. So I tell this to the professors. No student is waste, no student is bad. The professor makes the student bad. I'm telling you the fact. It's a fact, correct? Teacher makes the student bad. The best subject, if a bad teacher is teaching, gone. Am I right? Yeah. And if a worst subject, a good teacher is teaching, he creates interest. So first of all, we must have good, enthusiastic, dedicated, compassionate teacher who should say that I will make life out of you. That is the success of teacher. Teaching is not a noble profession, it is nobler than that. We call our gurus Guru Nam Guru. My guru is greater guru, right? Guru, even other words, also means big. So this is what it is. So agri and food waste. I have chosen this topic. Now I will come to that because this area, agricultural area, I was told by Sakai editor a few years ago, Kolhapur has the best GDP in the country. Kolhapur district. Barabar hai? So you have a lot of rich students here. 4 BMW. Yeah, you can have more than that. Because this is a fertile land. Kolhapur is a fertile land. So on 20th of this month, I am going to give that Nanascience Parudekar lecture in his honor. In Sakai has organized. I am going to be here on 20th. So then I am going to talk something interesting in Marathi though. And so you see that agricultural residue, food processing, post harvest losses. See, social, economic, and environmental. Since we treat as waste, we should not treat anything waste. And I will give the best example. Now all these bottles are in front of you, correct? These are distillery bottles, PET bottles, polyethylene terephthalate. After you drink it, right? You are going to throw it and go away. Nobody knows who has taken the bottle. Nobody knows, right? Instead, supposing there was a 20 rupees deposit on that bottle, all these bottles will be vanishing. You go and give the bottle and take 20 rupees back. Promote digital economy. That is what our government wants to, right? Digital economy. So 20 rupee bottle, anywhere in the country you return, you will get your 20 rupees back. Now, I'll tell you something else. This is again dairy area, okay? Gokul dairy. You have these polythene bags. What is the rate? 1 liter, 50 rupees, 60 rupees? 60? 68? Suppose instead of that, it was 90 rupees. With a rider, you return the bag, you will get your 20 rupees back. What the housewife does, the housewife is so smart, she doesn't waste anything. She will cut that corner, take all the milk, put water 100 times, take the last water, drop of water, there nothing is left. Every housewife is the smartest housewife, right? I always call housewife as the best chemical engineers. She will take every drop of the milk, clean plastic, and supposing on that there was a barcode and it said you return this back, you will get 20 rupees back. You know something? Newspaper you get every day. Does your wife throw out the newspaper? She will keep it nicely. Raddi is more valuable than the content. Sometimes she will sprinkle water to increase the weight. Right? Some housewives are smart. Why do they do that? Because they say it has value. So you have to make people understand nothing is waste, it has a value. So the plastic bottle, thin bottle, this PET, polythene bag, suppose there was a barcode, so we go, give it, take the money back. Supposing you are lazy, like the newspaper boy comes to your home every day, plastic collector comes to your home, takes your bag and says, Madam, I am giving you UPI, Paytm or Bhim app, whatever, I return your money, I will take 5% commission because you are lazy. So I generate employment. There will not be any plastic waste anywhere, believe me, that was the policy. So several years ago, maybe about 7 years ago, Maharashtra government chief secretary called me, Yadav sir, we want to consult you. I said, okay, I went. He said, what do you think of it? We are going to ban this plastic. I said, it is a stupid idea, don't ban it. So you know what he said? We have already taken a decision. So it infuriated me. I said, then why the hell you call me if you have taken a decision? Just to confirm that decision? Babu, they are known for that. They want to confirm it first. And then they will say, expert said. So actually the decision is taken by the Babu, but he will say, expert said. I said, it is a stupid idea. Not only, you know that during COVID, what saved us? The plastic saved us. We use this PPE, right? The bug and its viruses, they were killed because we use plastic. Plastic is not bad. The man who is using and throwing it is bad. Because plastic was introduced in the market as a replacement for paper. Because paper means paper, pulp, denudation of forest, we cut the trees, again temperature goes up, we say environmental problem, therefore we replace it with plastic. Then, look, technology. History of technology is history of civilization. History of technology is history of civilization. So we became smart, we said, why not make it thinner and tougher and tougher? So plastic became thinner and thinner, tougher and tougher. So when you go to the sabji market, Mandai, right? Then Bhaiyaji, Ajunik Pishvidana, he gives 2, 3, 4 because he said it is free. Practically it is value is 1 or 2 paisa, not even that. Because it is free, you take more, go home, throw it. Supposing that fellow said 1 bag is 20 rupees. You would say, okay, this time I don't know. I want to save money. So why should I take, right? What is that? That means we change the attitude. We have to change the attitude of the society. You have to say that has got value. And the best example I will tell you. We go for marriages or birthday parties. These days the students know they have birthday party in the middle of the night. Then in the hostel you come to know somebody's birthday there because they are shouting. I used to be warden for 18 years. I know that the students will middle of the night start shouting. So birthday or marriage, you go the chef makes such a lovely food. Attractive and smelling very good. Masala itka sundar asto na. Tamda rasa, panda rasa, Kolhapur wale. So you can see that. So because it is attractive, it is smelling good, you take a bigger plate. You don't take small plate. Huh? Free is a so you take more. Scoops are more. And then what happens? You don't like. You might have taken 2 days meal together, one night, so you throw it. Supposing instead of that, there was a bowl in front of each dish. And there was a small note there, dear madam or dear sir, you like this dish, put 100 rupees in this bowl, then only touch it. And I can assure you, your wife will not allow you to touch it. Because she knows you are not eating at home that food, because it is free, you are eating it, and then you are throwing it. What is the message? Message is anything free is not appreciated. Nothing should be given free. कुणाला फुकटचे मार्क पण देऊ नका. You will never appreciate. The person has to study for it. Otherwise, what is the difference between the person who is working day and night, burning midnight lamps so called, and he gets the same marks as somebody else? So I'll tell you something. I went to USA. I met some of our students in Boston. They said, sir, you were our vice chancellor. They were very good. Because I may not know everybody. They come, fall on the feet. You know what one of them said? Sir, there is one bad teacher you should remove. I said, which department? They told me the name. I said, why you did not tell me when I was the vice chancellor? Why are you telling now? You know what they said? Sir, that professor used to give us good letters of references to go abroad. So did he write? No, we used to write and he used to sign. So it is unethical, right? The professor was unethical, the students were unethical. So one fine morning, I was sitting in my office. I had developed an app. Actually, I had used that app. So I knew who is attending which class, which classroom. All professors were literally scared of me. I'm telling you that. People were scared of me. Not because I was bad or something. I was disciplined. So you know what? They bring the teacher to my office. They say, sir, tomorrow is the exam. He has only conducted 3 classes. And that professor, sir, no, I conducted 20, which is equivalent to 30 classes. 60 lectures, course, 100 marks. So I said, teacher and students are complaining against each other. So I said, I have my app, I can check. So I said, I gave a chance to the professor. I did not want to answer. I said, why you did not? Sir, I said, I have, the internal test, everybody's biomarker is there. Thumb impression, before the class is open. Deshmukh is here, he knows that. Is your thumb good? So that professor told me, sir, माझा अंगठा गुळगुळीत आहे, छापच येत नाही. Yeah, there is no impression because my thumb is not good. No fingerprints are there. I said, yes, your angta may be gulgul. It may be very smooth, nice, but students is not there now. Student also gives this thumb impression. Yours may not be there. You are the registrar, he knows it. But their impression would be there. I checked it, and the students were telling the truth. We removed that professor. You know that? We removed it. Yeah. So we removed that professor. First time in the history in government institute to remove a professor, but I have to follow all strict rules and create record. Deshmukh had helped me with that. we removed that fellow. This will never happen but I was very angry because that fellow used to come drunk. Girls will be afraid of him. So discipline. Professor must have discipline. Students look at the professor. They may be saying good morning, good evening, when you turn your face around, they will say, what a stupid fellow he is. He never taught us anything right. That is, actually I'm telling you, we have to be honest to ourselves. We can learn many things from the professor, the teacher. So these are SDG goals 1 and 2, AFW. So what we do? So net zero, since I mentioned about net zero, look, in net zero hydrogen technologies, green hydrogen, because I've been working in this area for a number of years, maybe 17, 18 years, then carbon dioxide will be our new oil. Conversion of carbon dioxide into ethylene and polymers and all. I can convert, once I get to ethanol, I can produce 11 different major chemicals, 9 specialty chemicals. Decarbonization of economy. Carbon should not be used as a fuel. Carbon should not be burned. I'm telling at the top of my voice. Biomass and food valorization, biotechnology, see a lot of scope there. Solid waste management, waste plastic recycling. Plastic is not bad, we have to depolymerize it. Correct, what I'm saying? Yeah, and water resource management. We have to manage our water. Water which is going, effluent, we have to treat it. In Mumbai municipal, you know what? They don't give water, but drinking there is a problem. So all these refineries, they take the sewage. They used to pay 50 rupees per ton. It is always 1,000 liters, right? 50%. Municipality realized they are processing it and using it in the refinery. So municipal commissioner became smart. They said, I will charge you 1 rupee 50%. So those guys came to me. HPA, BPA, RCF. They said, sir, we were taking it at 50%. Now they are saying 1.5. So I told those guys, it is waste for you. They are taking that water and convert it into value. What is your problem? I have to solve that problem because, see, the waste water they were taking, refineries use, why the refineries are near coastal area? Because they require a lot of water. So, water management, plastic recycling, circular economy, recycle engineering, biotechnology, systems engineering. So when you open any TV, in when you flip the channels, some are doing somewhere it is there, beta, think positive. So I will tell you a joke. So one lady, her husband was dying. So takes husband to the hospital. So that doctor asked, what is his blood group? She says, I don't know his blood group. So that fellow become weak, his voice is very weak. So she's taking his head, putting it on the lap, and he's saying, Sandra, I'm dying. So she said, the doctor said, the nurse said, what is his blood group? Now that fellow dying, he sees crying, he said, be positive. So, and he died. And there is a condolence meeting. She said, my husband was so brave. Even on the deathbed, he told me, be positive. See, he was telling his blood group is B positive. He is telling me, be brave. Right? So that is, think of negative, not think negative. And what is that? Think of negative? Carbon negative energy. Carbon should not be used as a fuel. So, I've been telling this, I've given several lectures. And material neutrality, because everything has to be recycled. So, you want to develop a catalyst, develop a reused material, not virgin material. So, look at this. Food surplus, food waste. These are the standard things. They say that at source only you prevent waste. The best way is nothing is free. You go to any marriage. Actually, you should try it in your son's marriage, daughter's marriage, or brother's marriage. Put this bowl. See how much money you will collect and give it to the bride and groom. Food wastage will stop. Try it at least once. Recycling, recovery, you see that? So, what it means is that, can we create a zero waste society? That is the question. Theoretically, yes. We can create zero waste society, provided avoid the food waste, even if we make compost or create a biogas, something which can be used on the campus, right? So look at this, how many things are there? Now common man will not know what are these compounds there in that food waste. So it requires technology. So we have to develop technology. Nothing is waste, remember. And so we can do that. So innovative extraction, including solvent extraction, supercritical carbon dioxide extraction, microwave, ultrasound, name it. Green solvents. Water is the best solvent. No solvent is the best one. Green solvents and circular economy. All sorts of things we can do with food waste. Madam, research shuru kara department. Okay? So I am telling this 5 R. 5 R. The first R is refuse. If you refuse, suppose you go to पाहुण्याच्या घरी गेलो, अरे खा खा खा, आपण जास्तच वाढतो. I don't want to eat. You have saved carbon dioxide. Because if you refuse this water bottle, that means you are not adding to the environmental burden. First principle is refuse. Next is repurpose. Use it for something else. Like making the godri, you know, that wakal. You can make it like that. Reduce. You reduce. Instead of eating full, you plan. Don't waste food. Reuse. Can you reuse it? Last but not the least, recycle engineering. Recycle engineering. Oh, what happened? Okay. So, what it means, recycle engineering is circular economy. Government policy matters the most. If government says you do it, only you do it, not otherwise. Okay? How many times we do it? Recycle engineering, and so I just say government policy and practical incentive. Now you know what? I met that MPCB chairman in Pune recently, about a month ago. He said, "Sir, we took decision that plastic bags 15 rupees a kilo." I said, "It's not a good idea. This plastic is so thin and so light. To collect 15 rupees, the beggar will never collect. The rock picker will collect only PET bottle. All other things are thrown." I said, instead of that, suppose per bag you have kept 15 rupees now, all your kachara will vanish within no time. It will vanish within no time, because if we give less value to that kachara, you will never take it. Value it, no? So, practical incentive, like for example, they say, I am a government of, in fact I am addressing them on 16th, you know what they say? "Sir, we have told that 50 micron gauge plastic can be used. Now, are you going to the metering gauge? Look at the thing. Is it practical? It is stupidity. It's not practical. Nobody knows what is 50 micron. Do you know 50 micron? No, nobody knows. But what Babu's think, they have got a best deal, 50 micron. I said, no, that is not going to work. So, practical incentive. So, if I say, you know, whether you have a straw, whether you have plastic bag, plastic bottle, irrespective of shape, size, weight, mass, length, 20 rupees deposit. So straw also 20 rupees deposit. You will carry your own straw, right? Or return it to the person, vendor, and take your money back. Practical, it is practical. And then this guy says, no, we find some vendor in Airoli 5,000 rupees because we found 10 bags of plastic, thin plastic. How stupid it is. The police makes money, municipality fellows make money. You know why? Because you encourage corruption in society. The policies are such, you encourage corruption, you don't encourage honesty. Like, wherever there is liquor ban, maximum liquor is sold in that state. Gujarat and Bihar. There is a liquor ban, but maximum, because that one, who is the liquor? Police only come and do the liquor. So, if one technology creates a problem, another must solve it. That is our agency. And that, so incentivize that. Okay? So look at this stubble burning. How much? 500 million tons we burn. And I have done some calculations. I will show that. How much is that? All sorts of stubble, whether sugar cane, cereal, pulses, fibers. So this is what, last night I prepared this. Look, farmers' average income. The real income, nominal income 10,000, real income now, with in 2014 is the best there, 2020, 18,000. The farmers' average income is only 18,000 per month. Government wants to double it. How do you double that farmers' income? Technology. Okay, so we can do that. So for example, I did some calculations how this will be done, and I'll go show the slow side. This is it. So we can make hydrogen, we can make biofertilizer or compost, we can make ethanol or biochemicals, but all may not be used. So 100% use 60%, 40-20. Even if you use 20% of the agri-waste, still how many lakhs of crores? You see, 1.5 lakh crores per annum can be earned by the government. If you go to 40%, you see the number goes to 3. If you go to 60%, goes to 4.5. These are the real numbers based on the agri-waste which we generate in India. So if you want to increase the farmers' income, we should develop technology for them and deploy that technology everywhere. So what I am suggesting, farmers' income can be multiplied by hydrogenation or hydrogenolysis. These are catalytic processes. So Saltamaric, nanocatalyst we can use. Okay? So see that. So this is waste to wealth, W to W. Factories, farmers, cooperative, agri-waste. You have sugar factories now, I am saying make agri-waste factories. Kolhapur should be the first example. Jyoti Madhav, I am giving you this challenge. You have to do that. Kolhapur, let Kolhapur be the number one to create this. So what happens? There is no burning, no pollution. In Delhi, December and January, you cannot land. It is very bad. One day I was there, message came on the TV, don't go out. I was sitting in the hotel. It was so bad. So, government policy matters. Farmers, waste to wealth, biomass cooperative society. Sugar factory at the bus. We can make sugar without sugar factory. I will show you how to do that. Okay? So, yeah. So look at the potential agri-waste, industrial waste, fruits, fibers, liquid, MSW, microalgae, and so I can do combustion, gasification, plasma. Deshmukh tumhi karat hote plasma. Karta ke nahi aadmi? Okay. Then pyrolysis, anaerobic digestion, fermentation. We can do all this technology. This science and technology, science, engineering and technology. And so see how many. Hydrolysis, sugar extraction, clarification. You get solid and also gases, composting, landfilling. I can do many things from the agri-waste and bio. This technology must be deployed. So our job should be to do that. So look, even if we take 43% of MSW recycle, 31% is landfill, others is incineration. We can do that. So look, collection, transportation, segregation. So segregation takes place, 80% of the cost goes on segregation. So if I segregate at source, like that, somebody comes to your home and collects a plastic bag, you have saved a lot of money, right? So we can do thermal processing, pyrolysis, gasification. I won't go into the chemistry. We can do awake air oxidation. We can do biochemical treatment of organic MSW. Okay. So thermochemical, biological, dark fermentation, all sorts of things I can do. So there are so many opportunities in this area, food waste, agri-waste. Shivaji University should have a center in this. AFW, College AFW, Center of Excellence. Okay? Yeah, policy matters. That is what I am saying. We can have policy. Circular economy, food processing waste. See how many things. These are all processes which require high level of science and engineering. That is in green background, extraction, hydrolysis, pyrolysis, all sorts of things we can take. So henceforth, people will not just eat banana and throw the, cover somewhere else, the skin, they will put it in their pocket because it is giving them money. Right? They will go home and make money out of it. So, agri-waste, biochemicals, biomaterials, biofuels, heat and power. So, how many things we can do with this? So, like for example, fried debris. I was invited by this Poultry Manufacturers Association in Calcutta to give a talk on poultry. My goodness. How much that person, poultry farmer? 20 lakh eggs every day in his farm. 20 lakh eggs. And then you have to cover all sorts of things. the richest, the dada of that industry met me, and I said, why don't you do something like this? So biogas, biohydrogen, polydioxide, succinate and whatnot. So we can see that all these are biological processes. So biotechnologists will have good days tomorrow. Are there any biotechnology students here? Nano biotechnologists? Nano not in number, literal nano. Okay, so we can see almond seed, rice seed, sugar, everything. Rice has 92% silica in that. 92% silica. I gave money to somebody from Punjab to do this work. I said, why don't you do? Then see. So petroleum refining and biorefining. What is the difference? See, left hand side is petroleum. Chemists will know that functionalization, adding functional groups. So one is functionalization and biorefining is defunctionalization. That is what we do. So you see that we can have integrated biorefinery, lignocellulose, biomass, you see biohydrogen, biomethane, bioethanol, syngas, everything bio. So cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, all those things can be used to make chemicals and materials. Okay, this is, and see, cellulose, and there are 14 different processes which are catalytic, including both biocatalytic and chemical catalytic. So you see that. And in our sugar factories, they are so-called cogen. Bad idea. Shajirao, bad idea. Cogen is a bad idea because we only just burn it. That lignin is a very valuable source of chemicals and materials and polymers. So we can do that. Yeah. See, xylose, arabinose, glucose, mannose, these are C5 and C6 in cellulose. So I don't need sugar factory. I can get all the sugars from this hemicellulose. And lignin products, I can make benzene, toluene, xylene, all those things. Okay, very important. So this is one of the papers I wrote. So you say left side on the sugar C5, 6 oxidation, hydrogenation, hydrogenolysis, down oxidation, oxidation. That means hydrogen and oxygen will save the world. That is green hydrogen. So yes, hydrogen and oxygen are important. So that is water. So I said water management, right? So we can do that. So we did many things in our laboratory. Protein, biomass molecules, including glycerol, icabonic acid, malic acid, linolenic acid. So this becomes a part of the circular economy. Okay? So food waste, glucose. See how many things. Succinic acid, DMF, dimethyl furanate, hemicellulose, you get xylitol. Xylitol is so expensive. Why burn it? Make xylitol. So in fact, somebody from Kolhapur met me very recently. He wants to do this kind of thing. Phenolic acid, vanillin, all those things are possible. Then fatty acids, biodiesel. When government introduced the biodiesel idea, people grab the land, not for making biodiesel. So-called Jatroba or Yatroba. This real pronunciation is Yatroba. Yatroba oil. Yeah, only about 13% is used, rest is through. That should be valorized by using this technology. So we can see, we can make high fructose cereals from mixed food and beverage waste. Okay? We can make, for example, lactic acid, lactide, polylactic acid. Now, very big plant. This is so-called, this Balrampur Chini in Kolkata. They had invited me, and I went and met those people there. They are going to introduce the best polylactic acid plant here, which is a biodegradable plant. So from farmers they are collecting a methane fermentation from food waste. Look, biological wastewater treatment. I'm flipping through because, I don't have to give lecture there. This is not examination. I'm making you aware. What is possible? What is possible? So look, food and via saccharification for sugar recovery. Saccharification we can do. And then plastic, the packaging material. We can recover very valuable chemical. Depolymerization we can do. So look at this recovery. So So algal biomass, we had a plant in our city, we used to run this algae. Okay, then you see lignocellulosic material, lignin, fats and oils, all sorts of things, closed loop biorefinery. See how many chemicals. Don't go at the structures, just to tell you, make you aware that we can produce many chemicals. Okay? So water is a privilege. Why I said that? Because we want to make green hydrogen from water splitting. So yes, we can do that. So we say wastewater treatment mechanism where treated water can be transferred into process energy. So now this is a very interesting slide. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Right? I call solar energy, wind energy and hydrogen energy as the next trinity. And I already told you that carbon should not be used as a fuel. So green hydrogen, I call hydrogen as the prime Devas. Devas is a Sanskrit word meaning deity, God, the Almighty. So we can do that. So there are 7 different colors of hydrogen. Hydrogen is colorless, but the color code is for the technology. So you have brown, grey, blue, turquoise, green, pink, white. There is a naturally occurring hydrogen also, and look how much carbon dioxide it produces. Brown hydrogen 19 tons per ton. Grey hydrogen, which is refineries are doing it now. Refineries are very polluting in that regard, 11 tons per ton. Go on this side, turquoise, that is natural gas pyrolysis. Even if you have biogas, so we are doing some project in ICT, in my lab, so where we convert the biogas into very valuable SNG, which can be used in refineries, our buses. So this is very important. Blue, turquoise, green, pink and white. Source of energy decides the color. Green hydrogen means it will be renewable energy. Whether you use solar energy, wind energy, nuclear energy or whatever. So yes, so the 2050 projected demand by 3 different agencies, Hydrogen Council, you see that anywhere between 2 and that means hydrogen market is growing. Hydrogen industry will not die. That is going to be our savior. Trinity. Okay? So you see, we can produce hydrogen by many things, and we have done it in our lab. These are some of the slides. So we can make from biomass, sewage, forest waste, agricultural waste, animal excreta. We can do many things. So when you are gasifying agent like air, oxygen, steam, carbon dioxide, I can produce hydrogen. Okay? So I can produce hydrogen from food waste. So dark fermentation. Steam gasification, tarifaction, all sorts of biohydrogen. I can do many things. It is not important what the slide said. My idea is to tell you that how many things we can do. We can produce hydrogen from lignocellulosic biomass. Okay? So what we did on our lab, and we got several patents. My student Shivaji worked with me. So methanol, ethanol, ethylene glycol, butanol, glycerol, we can use all these things to make hydrogen. And there is one interesting comment. US Department of Energy, they call it 1-1-1 policy, meaning thereby 1 kilo hydrogen in $1 in 1 decade, and that deadline is 2031. Joe Biden's administration decided. But 1-1-1, those who are cricket lovers, is there any cricket lover here? Raise your hand. Last time I was batting girl, raise your hand. In cricket, 1-1-1 is called Nelson's eye in the test, meaning 1-1-1 is an unlucky number, you can get out. So this is what it is. That target is so tough, you can get out. So 1-1-1. So we did, this is the work which we did in our lab. So we take solar energy, molten source, and we make hydrogen, and we produce so many things. We make hydrocarbons from carbon dioxide, formic acid, dimethyl ether, methanol. This is all work done in our lab. In one slide I showed you that. And then we can make green ammonia also. So this is our pilot plant, which we are running in Goa. Now we are shifted to Panvel. My students are working there. This is a very interesting plant. You can see that Actually, this was to be opened by the Prime Minister, but somehow the ONGC guy did not manage it properly. So the Minister, Rameshwar Peri, came to inaugurate. These are my students, they are officers from ONGC. So we compared our hydrogen production technology with all of that, where this was mentioned by Honorable Nitin Gadkari in Rajya Sabha. You know, that Dr. Yadav has done this. So good thing, this was on 6th December 2020. So carbon dioxide refinery. So I can take carbon dioxide and make how many? 6 different processes by which I can take it. So name anything I can make from carbon dioxide. So we can do chemistry, we can do sorts of fine chemicals, and once you have methanol, I can produce variety of chemicals. So I don't require petrol. I can make it from carbon dioxide. So we published a lot of this work. So our story was CO2 to methane and hydrocarbons. 3 companies are associated with us now. We want to really bring this to the fore so that our country benefits. That is our idea. So Godavari biorefinery is now our plan. In fact, I am getting an award for this on 19 that we developed this technology. They produce 500 tons per day of carbon dioxide. In the fermentation, always there is CO2. We said, I told Samir somewhere, why don't you join hands with me? We will sell this technology together. We have already done it, so this is there now. Then 5 tons per day of carbon dioxide to methanol, this plant is also being done. And so with that bioethanol, I told you that ethanol should not be burned. Government's policy is there right now, they mix it in petrol, in diesel. Why do they do that? Because they want to reduce the import bill. Very fine for some time, but it should not be a longer run policy. I told you that negative you have to go. So hybrid, so we can see bioethanol. I can make so many chemicals, more valuable chemicals than burning ethanol. Carbon should not be burned, I said. So biomass derived chemicals, bioethanol should not be burned. That is what I am saying. I have told the government many times, don't do that. But anyway, so conclusion, there is a massive global food wastage. We have to have a zero waste society. You know, catalysis will enable green, clean, efficient processes, biomass, carbon dioxide, water, air, sunlight. Waste is wealth. And so MSW valorization, MSW composition, algae. So finally, waste to energy valorization enables sustainable use of entire resources. You must integrate biochemical and thermal processes or hydro. So finally, 5R. Important is 5R. Green economy, bioeconomy, bio-based economy, circular economy. These are not just the words, these are technological challenges. And all of you can work in that area. Finally, this is very important. I was in Sweden in May this year. The Nobel Foundation had organized this program. I was the only Indian in that. I signed this document called Chemistry for the Future, the Stockholm Declaration. So you can see this is Professor Ben Hering was the Nobel laureate, you know. So you see that my signature is next to that Paul This is there. I'm here, Paul is here. So we declared this. Everybody has adopted this now. Chemistry of the Future is the title of that, conference. And Ben Hering is going to come to India one of these days. So finally, I want to dedicate all these things. I told you in the beginning only students teach more than the teachers teach the students. Many times it has happened in my life. Students have come crying to me in the middle of the night. Sometimes they come with personal problems. Sir, I want to marry this girl. Should I marry? I have to give advice on everything. I have to give advice and then somebody wants to run away with the girl. What do I do? And once one policeman came, he said, sir, only you can solve the problem. I said, what problem? The husband and wife are fighting. The husband is your student. And the wife has complained against the husband. Now you see the teacher has to do all sorts of jobs. Fixing marriages, giving them job, sending them abroad for postdoctoral fellowship. So sometimes I say, Nokri, chokri, dikri, whatever, everything has to be done by the professor. So, Professor Patil, coming to the final slide, I want to salute you for whatever you have done for your students and for this university. I tell you something very funny in our life. We realize the value of the person when he is no more and he has gone on to science. We don't appreciate the person when he is around. That is the sad part of life. We should appreciate person who is around. Right? आपण श्राद्ध करतो, अरे कावळे बोलतो म्हणतो बाबा खा, बाबाला माझ्या जाऊ द्या, अरे जेवण असताना तुम्ही काय केलं नाही. Parents, right? So it is better you appreciate, give him a big hand of applause. I really enjoyed talking to you. I'm also sorry that I did not allow you to sleep. Some of you have thought that whenever the professor is teaching or talking, we can relax and sleep. Oh. That did not happen in my lecture, and it has never happened in my lecture. You know that most of the time I talk classes in the afternoon or late in the evening after 6 o'clock. Because during daytime I have a lot of administration, but I always taught and still I am teaching. I am still teaching. I have a lot of students with me. Thank you very much. And I really enjoy coming over here. This is my hometown, Kolhapur. Janani Janma Bhumishta Sargavati Gurige. Thank you, Prof. university तुमचं मी अभिनंदन करतो. तुम्ही इतके वर्षी शिवाजी विद्यापीठाची सेवा केली. So you must be overwhelmed. Your students have come here. Your family members are here. Is your wife around here? Oh, all right. But anyway, I met your son sometime back. Good. Thank you very much.
Absolutely flawless, isn't it? Yes. No words other than this. I am here to conclude the session, but before we conclude, whatever sir has presented opened the eyes of every young mind. So for that purpose, I would request the audience to give the standing. I am concluding this session. Yes.
Because you know we have to felicitate him, right?
Felicitation function is there.
Yeah, you work here. Okay.
So we really enjoyed 2 hours, more than this, and really it's a very feast. I will ask the question to the student, does you feel that you are talking with Einstein? Yes? So the person sitting in the chair of this dais is not looking like Einstein. He is an Indian Einstein, and we are very.
But I will tell you a story. Anyway, I'm not going to tell the story.
Most probably, the students he has that particular. I think it's a teacher. How it is to be, and how the teacher is converting the most difficult task into the simpler one. When you look at the whatever entire words knowledge he has presented in a series of these slides, it's flawless. And he is an economist, he is a biotechnologist, he is a biologist, he is a chemist, etc., etc., etc. Today we are very
and
fortunate.
all slides are made by me.
Because I saw him that he is preparing his own slides on his own. So today the time is not permitting us, and that's why we are concluding that yes, we are very fortunate to have the Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav sir is with us, and we don't thank sir. आम्हाला thank म्हणायचं नाहीये कारण त्या एवढ्याशा thanks च्या शब्दातून आम्हाला उतरही व्हायचं नाहीये, पण मला खूप आनंद वाटला की या नवीन जनरेशनला तुम्ही ज्या काही पद्धतीनं 2 तास मंत्रमुग्ध करून टाकलेलं आहे. माझ्या आयुष्यामध्ये अशा पद्धतीचं म्हणजे आज जे लेक्चर झालं तसं मी कधी ऐकलेलं नाही आहे. एवढ्या टू अँड फ्रो जे झालं ते. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच सर.
Now I request Dr. S.A. Savan ma'am to kindly felicitate Professor J.P. Savan ma'am.